Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the latest release of OpenAI Agent SDK. So it's definitely a great framework that they have come up with these features. They claim this to be a production-ready framework. If you remember last year, they came up with Swarm open source framework, which was more experimental. They might have got a lot of feedback and came up with this production-ready framework. It's lightweight design. It does have some core primitives that we will look at shortly, but it got very minimal abstractions and it doesn't have a lot of framework-specific jargons like Crew AI or other frameworks has. Multi-agent orchestration is pretty simple here. We will look at a handoff feature that's basically inbuilt handoff feature that enables this multi-agent orchestration that could easily be done with this framework. They also have provided a lot of built-in tools, and computer use being one of them. I'm really excited about that feature. We should definitely try that maybe in the next video. And they also have web research and file retrieval features too. One of the important features here is the safety guardrails. So they help us create these safety guardrails to validate any inputs and outputs that are generated by these agents. I think that really makes this production ready. We definitely need these guardrails. And tracing and observability is also inbuilt with this. They have their own OpenAI real-time monitoring portal that they have provided, but you can still use other frameworks like Langsmith or Langfuse. They do provide ability to integrate with other LLMs as well. So any LLM that is OpenAI format compatible and also has this chat completion API, so you could definitely integrate with that. And let's look at some of the basic primitives that they have given for building these agents. Is the agent itself that will have, which is basically LLM configured with different instructions that can create a persona for this agent. And handoff is the orchestration layer that we were talking about, where this handoff have ability for the agent to hand off any of the tasks to other agents to divide and perform different operations, or to switch conversations between specialized agents as well. And here you have guardrails is one of the other basic fundamental building block for this, is to create guardrails on how you can validate inputs and output that we have previously discussed. So let's go through the code really quick. So these is these are some of the modules that probably you need to get from OpenAI Agent SDK. And if you look at this, this is an example where we'll be looking at homework given few agents. One is a math tutor agent. We also have a history tutor agent. We will ask a question, and it has to basically route between a math tutor or the history tutor based on the question that is asked. And you can also observe here that we have created this homework output as a base model. We created this using Pydantic. This data model would be helpful for us to decide if the question that is asked is homework. They have provided it with a Boolean, and also there's a reasoning for that. If it is not homework, then what could that be, right? This is really important for us in debugging and tracing phase, because if there's a proper reasoning, we know why the model has actually marked something as a homework or not a homework. And one more thing that you can see here is the guardrail agent that is very important, that will check if the user is asking for homework or not. And the orchestration layer that we were previously discussing about is right here. This is the triage agent that actually routes the question to either of the history tutor agent or the math tutor agent. So you do have every agent definition is pretty straightforward. Just like how you create agents with Crew AI, you just provide a name. You have instructions on what this agent does here. This agent basically determines which agent answers the question, the orchestration part of it, and then you have this handoff that is done between either of these agents. And here you could see the input guardrails. The input guardrail would get the homework guardrail that it actually checks for if the input that is provided by the user is the is asking about a homework or is asking for any general question. And you could see here we are using async, just to have things implemented asynchronously. And there you go. We have two different initiations here. One of the initiation would be around a runner asking who was the first president of the United States. Another one is what is life. So this is the appropriate question for the history agent, but this isn't. So this should actually throw an error. So we'll go ahead and execute this and look at this output. So we are going ahead and executing this. And you can see the first question that was asked, the answer that you get is, who was the first president of the United States? And there you go, this is the answer. And the next question, which is what is life, it throws an exception, which is the tripwire triggered exception that as we defined here in this at this place. So in here, in the homework guardrail, we are passing in the context, we're passing in the agent and the input data, and we are basically checking the output from the guardrail agent. So the guardrail agent here is checking if the user is asking about homework or not. And it is giving that output just like we define here, the data model. And if the homework output is homework set to true, then you could actually see that here. The result would probably the result will throw a tripwire triggered exception. There is a bit of you might be a bit confused, get a bit confused here looking at this part of the code, because if you see here, it's tripwired is equal to not final output is homework. So this would be true if the final output is not homework. So that's how they have created this guardrail. So the reason why we got this exception here is because this question, the second question that was asked, is not related to homework. So that explains why it threw that error. And that's it. I think this is as simple as possible. There's not too much framework specific information that they have put here. I really love the guardrails feature. We definitely need that in production. One of the biggest problems that we would have when we deploy any chat interface in production is someone asking asking to produce a Python script when that is supposed to do customer support, right? So I think running them asynchronously, you have every input request going through the input guardrail, and you also have the guardrail function output that is actually checking for that at the same time when you put the request in, when you actually ask the chatbot about any question. So this is definitely a great implementation, and I guess we will see a lot of cool implementations with this. Thank you.